When God is talking to you, it often begins with a subtle, unexplainable feeling deep within your heart and spirit, a feeling that cannot be ignored, no matter how much you try to rationalize it. It is a gentle tug, a persistent whisper that refuses to leave you alone, a sensation that tells you there is more to your life than the current circumstances, more to your purpose than what you are experiencing in the present moment. This feeling is not anxiety, nor is it mere coincidence. It is a divine nudge, a spiritual signal that God is attempting to get your attention and align you with the destiny He has prepared for you. It may manifest as a recurring thought that keeps coming back, a sense of restlessness in your current environment, or an overwhelming desire for change that you cannot explain. These are not random, they are God's way of communicating with you, and they should never be ignored. God speaks in ways that are often subtle because His voice is not always thunderous or dramatic. Sometimes the most profound divine guidance is whispered, felt as a stirring in your soul, an inner knowing that something significant is about to shift. When this feeling occurs, it is essential to recognize it, to pay attention to it, and to act upon it with faith, for it is the beginning of a transformative journey. It is God planting seeds of change, planting visions of the life He wants you to step into, and opening your eyes to the possibilities that exist beyond your current limitations. This feeling may also be accompanied by a sense of urgency, an inner push that says, do not wait, do not settle, move forward. It may challenge your comfort zone, prompting you to take steps you would not have considered before, to make decisions that stretch your faith, to trust in a plan that is larger than anything you could have imagined. God often uses these feelings to guide you out of stagnation and into growth, to move you from a place of complacency to a place of purpose. The feeling is persistent because God desires that you recognize it, that you understand it, and that you act upon it. It is a divine compass, a spiritual GPS, pointing you toward opportunities, relationships, and experiences that will elevate your life and align you with your destiny. You may try to dismiss it at first, to convince yourself that it is just your imagination, but the feeling will not relent. It will return, stronger each time, because God is persistent, and His purpose for your life cannot be delayed. The feeling may manifest as inspiration, motivation, or a sudden clarity in decision making, a shift in perspective that changes how you view your life and the path ahead. It may also appear as a restlessness that cannot be ignored, a subtle dissatisfaction with the ordinary, a longing for the extraordinary. This is God reminding you that you were created for more, that your life is not meant to be ordinary, and that He is preparing to guide you into something greater than you have ever experienced. Acting upon this feeling requires courage, faith, and obedience. It requires that you trust in God's timing, that you step forward even when the way is not fully clear, and that you rely on His guidance rather than your own understanding. When you honor this feeling and respond with action, doors will begin to open, opportunities will begin to appear, and clarity will be given. God will provide the strength, wisdom, and courage needed to take the steps He is directing you toward. The feeling is a signal that your spirit is awakening, that your consciousness is aligning with God's will, and that you are ready to move into a new season of growth, blessing, and purpose. Every time this feeling stirs within you, it is a reminder that God is present, that He is aware of your struggles, and that He is actively working on your behalf. It is a divine invitation to step out in faith, to embrace change, and to trust that what lies ahead is far greater than what you have left behind. Never underestimate the power of this unexplainable feeling, for it is the voice of God reaching out to you, guiding you, preparing you, and calling you to live the life He has designed specifically for you. It is the start of a journey that will test your faith, expand your vision, and reveal the extraordinary plans God has in store. Recognize it, act upon it, and allow it to propel you into the blessings, opportunities, and divine encounters that await you. The feeling may start as a whisper, but when followed with faith and obedience, it will grow into a roar of divine confirmation, a testimony of God's guidance, and a life transformed according to His perfect plan. It is the beginning of your breakthrough, the first step in your divine destiny, and the unmistakable sign that God is speaking directly to you, calling you to rise, to move, and to embrace the purpose and future He has prepared with love, wisdom, and precision. When God begins to speak to you, one of the clearest signs is the appearance of repeated confirmations in your life. Moments where events, people, or circumstances align in ways that cannot be explained by coincidence. These confirmations are like divine signposts, strategically placed along your path to reassure you that you are on the right track and that God's hand is guiding every step. They can appear in many forms, through dreams, visions, repeated messages, chance encounters, or even in the words of those around you. At first, these signs may seem small, almost insignificant, like a gentle nudge to pay closer attention, but they are deliberate, precise, and intentional. Each confirmation is God's way of speaking to your heart, signaling that He is orchestrating your life in ways far beyond human understanding. The beauty of these confirmations lies in their subtlety and their ability to awaken your spiritual awareness, to help you discern God's voice amidst the noise of the world. You might notice recurring numbers, persistent thoughts, or synchronicities that feel too meaningful to dismiss. These repeated patterns are God's fingerprints, carefully placed to assure you that His plan is unfolding and that His attention is focused on you. Ignoring them can lead to stagnation, confusion, or missed opportunities, for God's guidance is always accompanied by unmistakable signs to those who are willing to observe with spiritual discernment. Recognizing these confirmations requires attentiveness and humility, an openness to the ways God communicates that may not always match your expectations. Sometimes they appear as encouragement during difficult seasons, a word of wisdom that comes at the exact right moment, or a sudden understanding that illuminates your path when you were previously uncertain. They serve to remind you that your life is being divinely coordinated, that you are not alone, and that God is working tirelessly to align every detail of your journey with His perfect will. The confirmations also build your faith and trust in God, reinforcing the truth that He is intimately aware of your desires, challenges, and circumstances. They encourage patience, for many of these signs come during times of waiting, when the natural progression seems slow, and when human logic might tempt you to give up. God uses these confirmations to remind you that His timing is perfect, and that your breakthrough is approaching, even when the world suggests otherwise. In addition, these signs often act as spiritual protection, guiding you away from situations or decisions that could harm you or derail your purpose. They are like divine checkpoints, redirecting your steps toward what is safe, right, and aligned with your destiny. The universe may appear chaotic, full of uncertainty, but God's confirmations cut through the noise, bringing clarity, direction, and reassurance. They are designed to awaken a heightened sense of awareness within you, to encourage you to tune into God's frequency, and to respond with faith and obedience. As you learn to recognize these confirmations, you also begin to recognize patterns of divine intervention in your past, moments where God's hand was quietly working behind the scenes, shaping your life and steering you toward the fulfillment of His promises. These signs also foster spiritual intimacy, building a relationship with God that is rooted in attentiveness, trust, and reliance on His wisdom rather than your own understanding. Each confirmation is a reminder that God is speaking, that His plans are active, and that He desires you to move forward with confidence, courage, and faith. They inspire gratitude, for each small sign is a gift, a reminder that you are seen, heard, and loved by the Creator of the universe. When you begin to notice these repeated confirmations, it becomes easier to discern His voice, to distinguish it from the distractions and opinions that constantly surround you. They train your spirit to be sensitive to divine guidance, to respond promptly to nudges, and to trust that even when the path is unclear, God's orchestration is precise. In essence, these repeated confirmations are more than mere coincidences. They are the evidence of a God who is actively communicating, protecting, and guiding you toward the life He has designed. They assure you that your prayers are being heard, that your steps are being ordered, and that your destiny is secure. By recognizing, embracing, and acting upon these divine confirmations, you align yourself with the flow of God's purpose, open yourself to His blessings, and position yourself to receive the breakthroughs, opportunities, and divine encounters that He has meticulously planned for your life. They are a divine language, a sacred dialogue between your heart and the Creator, constantly reaffirming that He is with you, guiding you, and orchestrating a future filled with hope, abundance, and purpose. Another unmistakable sign that God is speaking to you is when He begins to stir your heart and mind toward a specific purpose, calling, or mission that feels bigger than yourself. This stirring often starts subtly, like a quiet whisper in the depths of your spirit, yet it grows stronger and more persistent over time until it can no longer be ignored. God's call is never accidental. It is intentional, precise, and aligned with His divine plan for your life. It may manifest as a sudden passion for a cause, an unshakable desire to help others, or a clear vision for the path you are meant to walk. These promptings are different from mere ideas or fleeting thoughts. They carry a weight and urgency that resonate deeply within your soul, often accompanied by a sense of peace, excitement, or conviction that you cannot explain through logic alone. When God is calling you, He often places within your heart a combination of gifts, talents, and opportunities that are perfectly tailored to the mission He has chosen for you. You may notice doors opening in unexpected ways, encounters with the right people at the right time, or opportunities that align with your unique skills and passions. These moments are not coincidences. They are orchestrated signs that God is guiding you toward the destiny He has prepared. Sometimes, the calling is paired with tests and challenges, not to discourage you, but to prepare you for the weight and responsibility of the purpose ahead. These tests refine your character, deepen your faith, and strengthen your resilience, ensuring that when the opportunity fully manifests, you are ready to walk in it with courage and wisdom. God's stirring also often comes with a sense of discomfort or restlessness in areas of your life that are misaligned with His plan. You may feel dissatisfied with the familiar, compelled to leave behind old habits, environments, or relationships that no longer serve your higher purpose. This discomfort is not a punishment. It is a divine signal, an invitation to realign your life with the path that God is preparing for you. Listening and responding to this call requires courage, faith, and obedience. It demands that you trust in God's timing, step into the unknown, and rely on His guidance rather than the security of what is comfortable or familiar. Ignoring or resisting this stirring may lead to stagnation or missed opportunities, but embracing it opens doors to breakthroughs, divine favor, and fulfillment beyond anything you could have imagined. Often, God's call is accompanied by a growing awareness of His presence in your daily life. You may experience increased clarity in decision making, sudden insights that guide your steps, or a heightened sensitivity to the needs and opportunities around you. These are all signs that your spiritual ears are becoming attuned to His voice, that your heart is being trained to recognize His direction, and that you are moving into alignment with His will. Furthermore, this calling is rarely about self, glory, or personal gain. God's purpose for you is always rooted in love, service, and the expansion of His kingdom. The stirring in your heart is meant to inspire action, encourage service to others, and create a legacy that reflects God's goodness and wisdom. As you begin to discern and act upon these promptings, you may experience a profound sense of fulfillment, joy, and purpose that comes from walking in alignment with God's divine plan. This alignment also attracts divine resources, allies, and opportunities, often in ways that surpass human understanding. God's call may challenge your fears, test your patience, and push you beyond your comfort zones, but it always carries the promise of transformation, growth, and victory. Every encounter, every opportunity, every idea that resonates with your heart in this way is a thread in the tapestry of God's purpose for your life. Paying attention to these stirrings and responding with faith ensures that you do not miss the blessings, growth, and divine interventions that God has meticulously prepared. In essence, when God stirs your heart toward a purpose, it is a sacred invitation to step into your destiny, to embrace your gifts, and to participate actively in the unfolding of His plan. Recognizing this stirring, nurturing it with prayer and faith, and courageously acting upon it positions you to experience breakthroughs, divine favor, and the fulfillment of your God-given mission, ultimately transforming your life and the lives of those around you in ways that only God can orchestrate. Another unmistakable sign that God is speaking to you is when He begins to bring people, situations, and circumstances into your life that serve as confirmations of His message. These divine confirmations often arrive in ways that are so precise and timely that they feel almost too perfect to be mere coincidence. They may come as repeated messages from different sources, chance encounters with individuals who echo the same guidance, or unexpected opportunities that align perfectly with the direction God has been impressing upon your heart. God uses these confirmations not to manipulate or control, but to reassure you, to strengthen your faith, and to provide undeniable evidence that His hand is actively guiding your path. Often you will notice that these confirmations resonate deeply within you, producing an inner certainty and peace that surpasses mere logic or explanation. It is as if the universe itself is conspiring in alignment with God's will for you, and each sign, each confirmation, is a thread weaving together the larger tapestry of your destiny. These confirmations can manifest in subtle ways, like a scripture that jumps off the page during your reading, a sermon that speaks directly to your current situation, or a prophetic word that resonates so strongly it feels personal and tailored to you. They may also appear in more tangible ways, such as doors opening that were previously closed, a mentor or guide entering your life at just the right moment, or a sequence of events that aligns perfectly with the instructions you feel God has given you. God's confirmations are meant to build your confidence, not inflate your ego. They are not random strokes of luck, but intentional nudges designed to strengthen your discernment and to validate the direction you are taking in obedience to His call. In some cases, God's confirmations come through timing, showing up precisely when you need reassurance the most, particularly during moments of doubt, fear, or uncertainty. These moments serve as divine checkpoints, reminding you that His plan is unfolding exactly as it should, even if the path is not yet fully visible. When God uses others as instruments of confirmation, pay close attention to their words, actions, and the wisdom they offer. Often, He will place people in your life who mirror His guidance, echo His truth, or provide insights that confirm the impressions you are receiving spiritually. These individuals are part of God's orchestration, reinforcing your faith and ensuring you remain aligned with His purpose. Beyond external confirmations, you may also notice an internal alignment, a deep sense of peace, clarity, and confidence that accompanies the signs God is sending. This internal confirmation is crucial because it distinguishes God's voice from mere coincidences, wishful thinking, or the influence of other people. It is an inner compass, finely tuned by prayer, faith, and attentiveness, guiding you with accuracy and precision. Another critical aspect of these confirmations is their consistency. God rarely speaks in isolated instances. Instead, He often confirms His messages repeatedly, in different forms and through multiple channels. The repetition is not redundancy. It is divine assurance that what you are sensing is indeed His voice, His plan, and His timing. Recognizing these confirmations requires spiritual sensitivity, patience, and attentiveness. It demands that you cultivate a relationship with God that is rooted in prayer, meditation, and a sincere desire to hear and obey His will. As you grow in this relationship, your ability to discern His signs and confirmations becomes sharper, allowing you to navigate life with confidence and clarity. Acting upon these confirmations requires faith and courage. God's signs are not meant to leave you passive. They are invitations to take bold steps in alignment with His plan. When you act in obedience to these divine confirmations, you position yourself to receive blessings, breakthroughs, and opportunities that would otherwise remain out of reach. Ultimately, when God brings confirmations into your life, He is building your faith, reinforcing your trust, and preparing you for the next stages of your journey. Each sign, each nudge, each perfectly timed coincidence is a deliberate part of His plan, designed to guide you, strengthen you, and lead you toward the fulfillment of your God-given destiny. By recognizing, trusting, and acting on these confirmations, you align yourself fully with God's will, experiencing the transformation, abundance, and divine favor that He has meticulously prepared for you. These confirmations are proof that you are not walking alone, that your steps are ordered, and that the Creator of the universe is actively working on your behalf, orchestrating circumstances and relationships to ensure that His perfect plan unfolds in your life exactly as it was intended. Another undeniable sign that God is speaking to you is when He begins to illuminate your mind with sudden understanding and clarity that you could not have achieved on your own. This divine insight often arrives like a light breaking through the clouds, a profound realization or an aha moment that cuts through confusion, doubt, and uncertainty. It is not merely ordinary learning or accumulation of knowledge. It is a spiritual revelation that reveals God's perspective, purpose, and plan for your life. Often, these moments of clarity feel as though a veil has been lifted, allowing you to see situations, relationships, or decisions in a new light, one that aligns perfectly with God's will. You may suddenly understand patterns, recognize hidden motives, or see the consequences of choices before they unfold, granting you wisdom that seems beyond human reasoning. This enlightenment is God's way of preparing you for the next step in your journey, equipping you with insight that will guide your actions, decisions, and interactions. It is as if God is granting you access to a higher dimension of understanding, a perspective that transcends the limitations of your current circumstances and mental frameworks. Often, this clarity comes when you are seeking guidance earnestly through prayer, meditation, or reflection, signaling that your heart is aligned with God and receptive to His voice. When these insights appear, they may come in the form of sudden solutions to long-standing problems, innovative ideas for overcoming challenges, or revelations that connect the dots of your life experiences in ways that only God could orchestrate. These moments of understanding are not just intellectual but deeply spiritual, touching your inner being and resonating with an undeniable sense of truth. They often carry an accompanying sense of peace and certainty, a calm assurance that what you are seeing is God's direction and not simply a figment of your imagination. Another key aspect of this divine revelation is its timing. God often speaks through these moments when you are at a crossroads, facing critical decisions or preparing to embark on a significant phase in your life. The clarity He provides is not random, it is purposeful, designed to equip you to move forward confidently and wisely. This understanding often highlights opportunities you might have overlooked, warns you of pitfalls, or helps you prioritize what truly matters according to His plan. It allows you to navigate life with discernment, avoiding distractions, deception, and choices that could lead you away from your God-ordained path. Moreover, God's revelations are often accompanied by a profound sense of empowerment. When you grasp these insights, you feel strengthened, emboldened, and ready to act in accordance with His guidance. The clarity provided by God fuels your faith, reinforcing that you are not alone and that your steps are being directed by a divine hand. Recognizing these moments requires attentiveness and spiritual sensitivity. You must cultivate a heart that is still, receptive, and discerning, willing to listen and internalize the wisdom being offered. It requires trusting that these insights are not mere coincidence or self-deception, but a deliberate communication from God, intended to guide, protect, and prepare you. Acting on these revelations is where faith meets obedience. God's insight is meant to be applied. It is a call to take action, to make decisions, and to step boldly into the path He has illuminated for you. When you act on the wisdom God imparts, you position yourself for breakthroughs, alignment, and blessings that flow directly from following His guidance. Ultimately, when God grants you understanding and clarity, He is equipping you to live a life aligned with His purpose, free from confusion, doubt, and the limitations of human perspective. Each insight, each moment of clarity, is a manifestation of His love, care, and intentional design, ensuring that you are fully prepared to embrace the plans, blessings, and destiny He has set before you. Recognizing, trusting, and acting on these divine revelations is a powerful testimony to your faith and readiness to walk in alignment with God's voice, experiencing the fullness of His guidance, wisdom, and favor in every area of your life. This divine clarity is proof that God is not silent. He is actively engaging with you, revealing His will, and preparing you for the life of purpose, victory, and fulfillment He has ordained. Finally, one of the most profound signs that God is speaking to you is when He begins to orchestrate events and circumstances around you in ways that are unmistakably beyond coincidence. This is a divine synchronization, a supernatural alignment of situations, people, and opportunities that seems to confirm that God's hand is moving on your behalf. You may notice doors opening that were previously closed, encounters with people who provide exactly what you need at the right time, or resources showing up just when you need them most. These orchestrated moments are not random. They are carefully arranged by God to guide you, test your faith, and propel you toward your divine purpose. Often, this alignment comes after periods of waiting, struggle, or intense prayer, signaling that God has been preparing the ground for a breakthrough in your life. It is His way of showing you that you are not alone, that the universe itself is being aligned to support the plans He has for you, plans that are far greater than anything you could orchestrate on your own. These events often feel too precise to be accidental. A solution appears at the exact moment of need, A conversation provides unexpected clarity, or a connection opens doors you didn't even know existed. Recognizing these signs requires attentiveness and sensitivity to God's voice. You must cultivate an awareness of the small details, the seemingly minor coincidences, and the timely interventions that, when seen together, form a clear pattern of divine guidance. It also requires discernment, because not every opportunity or event is from God. The ones that are truly His will often come with a sense of peace, confirmation through multiple sources, or alignment with the values, principles, and direction He has already laid in your heart. When you begin to notice this divine orchestration, it is an invitation to trust more deeply, step out in faith, and embrace the paths He is opening for you. It is a call to surrender control, knowing that the unseen hand of God is guiding you toward outcomes that serve your highest good. These synchronized moments are often accompanied by a strong sense of timing. You will notice that things happen just when they need to happen, sometimes in ways that defy logic or human planning. This is God demonstrating His sovereignty, showing that His timing is perfect and that He is actively involved in every detail of your life. Acting in alignment with these divine orchestrations requires courage and faith. You must be willing to step into opportunities, even if they are unexpected or require you to move outside your comfort zone. Trusting in God's timing and His plan means understanding that setbacks, delays, and obstacles are not signs of failure, but part of the preparation and alignment process. Furthermore, these orchestrated events serve as confirmation that your prayers, efforts, and faith have not gone unnoticed. They are tangible manifestations of God's attention, care, and commitment to fulfilling His promises in your life. When you align your actions with these signs, you position yourself to maximize the blessings, breakthroughs, and growth that God has planned for you. This alignment also strengthens your faith, as you witness firsthand how God can move in the unseen realms to bring about outcomes that surpass human understanding. Recognizing and embracing God's orchestration transforms your perspective on life. You begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth, delays as divine timing, and encounters as purposeful connections rather than mere chance. It teaches you patience, discernment, and unwavering trust in God's plan. Ultimately, when God orchestrates events and circumstances in your favor, it is a powerful reminder that He is actively guiding your journey. It is proof that your life is not random, that your steps are being directed, and that blessings, breakthroughs, and divine interventions are on the horizon. Embracing these signs with faith, gratitude, and readiness ensures that you are fully prepared to walk into the future God has designed for you, experiencing the fullness of His guidance, favor, and purpose in every aspect of your life.